Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're doing something that is honestly just incredibly fun, but also super practical. We are going to equip you with a pair of textual X-ray glasses. Yep, by the end of the session, you're going to be able to look straight through the surface-level words of literally any article, debate, or argument and see the hidden bones and the fractures underneath.
So think about it for a second. Have you ever walked away from a conversation or maybe finished reading an op-ed and felt like you completely lost the debate, even though you just knew the other person's logic was entirely broken? You know that feeling, right? You couldn't quite put your finger on it, but something was just off. Well, that ends today. We're building a critical reading toolkit to help you instantly spot those hidden logic fractures and biased attitudes.
Okay, let's dive into this roadmap. First up, decoding tone. Then, the twists of irony. After that, building a solid argument. And finally, two types of fallacies, ignoring the issue and oversimplifying reality.
All right, number 1, decoding tone, uncovering attitude.
So to be a master reader, you really have to learn to look past the literal definitions of words. You're hunting for the author's hidden attitude. For example, look at words like sentimental, tolerant, bitter, optimistic, and humorous. All of these completely different statements can describe the exact same thing, a shabby house. By training yourself to spot these specific phrases, it's like a giant puzzle. You can suddenly see how the author is dictating the emotional reality of the text.
Let's actually compare two of these descriptions side by side. On one hand, a writer might say, "It has a special place in my heart." Instantly, you know the tone is sentimental. But if another writer looks at that identical house and calls it a ramshackle dump, well, the attitude flips entirely to bitter and miserable. Changing just a few words completely changes the lens through which we view the facts.
Moving right along to number 2, the twists of irony, flipping the script. You hear the word irony thrown around a lot, but what is it structurally? Well, irony always involves a discrepancy. It's that jarring feeling when things just don't quite fit together. Basically, it's a mismatch between what you expect to happen and what actually happens, or between the words someone says and what they actually mean.
In your daily reading, you're going to encounter two main types. First, situational irony. Imagine a house on fire. You fully expect a firefighter to aim a water hose at the flames, right? But instead, the firefighter uses a pipe to spray petrol on the fire. That bizarre, unexpected discrepancy is situational irony. Then there's verbal irony. Imagine you just watched an actor give a simply horrible performance in a movie. And as you walk out, you turn to your friend and go, "Wow, now that's an actor who is sure to win the Best Actor award this year." You were saying the exact opposite of what you mean.
Okay, number 3, building a solid argument, the structural bones.
Now that we've kind of mastered tone and irony, let's shift those X-ray glasses to look at the structural bones of a text. Every good argument is made of two distinct parts: the conclusion, which is the main point the author wants you to believe, and the reasons, which are the persuasive or logical pieces of evidence used to back it up. A successful reader absolutely must learn to separate that core argument from the details trying to prop it up.
Let's pause for a quick pop quiz to test that new X-ray vision of yours. In a debate about pets, which of these three statements is the main point? Is it 1. Cats refuse to learn silly tricks? 2. Cats seem to be more intelligent than dogs? Or 3. Dogs will accept mistreatment? Take a second and think about it.
If you guessed the second option, you absolutely nailed it. So the crucial point is that cats seem to be more intelligent than dogs. The other sentences, that cats refuse to learn silly tricks or that dogs will accept mistreatment, those merely provide the logical evidence attempting to prove that main claim. When you read, you always want to hunt for the main point first.
But here's where things get really interesting. Writers make errors in their reasoning all the time, sometimes accidentally and sometimes entirely on purpose. We call these fallacies. And we can map these logic fractures cleanly into two distinct and honestly quite dangerous categories: arguments that completely ignore the issue and arguments that oversimplify reality.
Which brings us to number 4, fallacies, ignoring the issue.
The most common tactic here is the personal attack, or ad hominem, literally the oldest trick in the book, especially in political debates. The writer ignores the issue under discussion and focuses entirely on their opponent's character. It's designed to manipulate your judgment by making you dislike the person rather than actually evaluating their ideas.
Let's test your detective skills with a really quick scenario. If someone argues, our cricket team is not going to win the next World Cup because we have acquired the services of a useless coach, Ask yourself, is this a personal attack?
The answer to the cricket question is, for sure, yes. Instead of giving strategic reasons why the team's gameplay is bad, the writer just attacks the coach. But here's an even better example. A politician says his opponent's views on a tax bill are worthless because his opponent's father held similar views. Notice how the attacker completely ignores the tax bill to smear a family reputation? They completely sidestep the real debate.
And that brings us to number 5, fallacies, oversimplifying reality.
Consider this argument. I know there is going to be a dust storm today because I washed my hair. I'll just let the absolute absurdity of that statement sit for a second. But here's the crazy part. People use this exact structure of broken logic every single day.
This right here is called a false cause. It's incorrectly assuming that just because event A happened before event B, event A must have caused event B. People fall for this daily by ignoring all the other possible alternative causes in their environment. Like, just because a company's profits declined right after a new chairman was hired doesn't automatically mean the chairman caused it. Maybe the whole market changed.
Another way writers oversimplify is through what's called a false comparison. Imagine someone arguing that because they leave their doors unlocked in a quiet rural village, you should be totally fine leaving your doors unlocked in a densely populated city. It is entirely illogical to assume these two completely different security situations are alike just to force a point.
All right, here is one last puzzle for you to solve. What's the flaw in this very restrictive statement? Eat your apple or you won't grow up strong and healthy. What exactly is the writer doing wrong here?
This perfectly reveals the either-or fallacy. The writer offers only two choices, eat the apple or be weak, when in reality, a whole spectrum of choices exist. You could eat a banana or spinach and still grow up strong. Knowing this protects you from being forced into false dilemmas by writers who just want to box in your thinking. Life rarely has only two sides.
And there you have it, the whole shebang. You now have a complete critical reading toolkit. You can decode emotional tone, spot the twists of irony, separate the main point from all the noise, and identify when a writer is either dodging the issue or oversimplifying reality. So my final question to you is this. Now that you're wearing these X-ray glasses, what hidden biases and fractured logic are you going to spot the next time you scroll through today's news? Keep your eyes open and happy reading.